Hello and welcome back to another video on high altitude investing. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Ethereum and where I personally think Ethereum is going to go in the big picture. We're also going to talk about the smaller time frames and where I think Ethereum could go in the smaller time frames as well. So as you guys can see, we have Ethereum over here on the left and we have Bitcoin over here on the right. And the first thing I want to show you guys in today's video is just how similar the market structure on Bitcoin was to Ethereum today. So as you can see over here with Bitcoin, we had a market cycle back in 2017 and 2018. And then Bitcoin did bounce back up and then come all the way back down to support before it really started to take off. And actually the recent Ethereum cycle is very similar to this older cycle on Bitcoin, as we do have a full cycle here on Ethereum. Then we had a very nice bounce back up and a big correction, just like what happened right here on Bitcoin before Bitcoin really started to take off. So you can see just how similar this Ethereum cycle is to this older Bitcoin cycle and how we're really having the same human emotion and market cycles play out in these charts over and over again. So in the near future, I do expect a very strong pump here on Ethereum, very similar to what happened over here on Bitcoin, where Bitcoin broke out to a new all-time high and really started to skyrocket. I personally think we're getting ready for a very similar move over here on Ethereum that will take us to a new all-time high and will blow a lot of people away. So let's talk about just how high it can go when we do get that breakout and where I personally think price will go for Ethereum this cycle. Now, the way the Elliott waves works is you have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then you get a fifth wave. But for the crypto markets, we have extended fifth waves, just in the same way that we have extended fifth waves in the commodities markets like gold or silver. Now, the other thing with Elliott waves is you can't have wave 4 retrace over the top of wave 1 except in a wick. So let's go ahead and count our Elliott waves here. So we have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. As you can see, this only retraces a little bit over the top of wave 1, and that's in a wick. And now we're getting ready for our fifth wave. In fact, we've already started to see wave 5 a little bit, as the price of Ethereum did go all the way up to 4,000 and back down to 1,400 again. So that's the very first signs of wave 5. So as you guys can see, wave 5 for Ethereum should be very big, again, because crypto does see extended fifth waves. My personal targets for Ethereum in the fifth wave is between $10,000 and $20,000 per coin this cycle. So as you can see, if we take our Fibonacci extension tool, generally speaking, wave 5 is going to extend to these higher extensions. People get very excited in crypto, and a lot of times it goes a lot higher than what most people expect. So my highest target for Ethereum this cycle is $20,000 per coin. I'm not saying it's impossible for this thing to go higher than that. If we do get a super cycle and we do get a mass adoption phase for crypto, it could technically go higher than $20,000 per coin, but I do expect at the very minimum $10,000 to $20,000 per coin this cycle. So if we have a smaller cycle, I think we'll only get up towards $10,000 per coin before we have a correction. But if we have a bigger cycle where crypto really is more mass adopted by the public and people are getting a lot more excited and the technology grows a lot more than people expect, I do think it's totally possible for us to reach $20,000 per Ethereum and potentially even higher in this fifth wave. I've seen fifth waves go extremely high to where it doesn't even make sense, and you can barely even see wave 3 and wave 1 anymore. So it's totally possible for Ethereum to do this, but for me, my first two targets will be $10,000 and $20,000 per coin. So that's what I'm seeing here in the bigger picture for this setup. I do think we will see a massive bull market for this coin, which is going to blow a lot of people away and make a lot of people very, very wealthy. Now, if you guys weren't here in 2017, this can sound a little bit crazy to be calling for $20,000 per coin. You have to understand that Bitcoin did a very similar move back in 2017. Now, I personally see this Ethereum cycle as being longer. I'm not saying we're going to get to $20,000 per coin in a single year, but it's the same kind of structure and it's the same kind of setup. So over here with Bitcoin on the right, you can see wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then this huge extended fifth wave that took us all the way to $20,000 per Bitcoin. Now here with Ethereum, we really have the same structure in the bigger picture. So we have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and you can see just how big those fifth waves really can be and just how parabolic they can run before you have a major bear market. And this is what I personally see for Ethereum this cycle, is a very huge extended fifth wave that blows a lot of people away, and all of this uptrend that we've been seeing for multiple years now really starts to play out, and we start to see a really big run in this coin as a result of all of the momentum that we've been building up for multiple years in this uptrend. Now this might be something you haven't seen a lot on the internet. Maybe not a lot of people are talking about this kind of a target or even how to get there, but this is what I personally see in the charts, and this is what the charts are telling me and what I firmly believe will happen for this coin. Now a lot of people maybe aren't talking about $20,000 per coin, but a lot of people don't understand these cycles and they don't know just how big the pump really can be, especially when you're getting ready for a big extended fifth wave in the big picture. So watch for Ethereum really to blow a lot of people away in the bigger picture and make a lot of people super shocked at just how high the price really could go this cycle. All right, cool. So let's talk a little bit about the smaller time frames here. Here on the 2-day candlesticks, we do see a full LE wave cycle. We have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and our fifth wave right here. Then we get an expanded flat correction right here, very similar to a normal ABC correction, but a little bit different. This ABC correction right here took us all the way down to 1,300 per coin, but we did see a strong recovery off of these lows, just exactly like we were planning for, and like I talked about in my previous videos and in my live streams. So we do see the early signs of a V-shaped recovery, which is exactly what we want to see. We want to see Ethereum come back up with a very strong recovery here and really push up through these resistance levels with a lot of strength and a lot of confidence, because that tells me that we're going to see a lot more upside for this coin and that we are going to obliterate through these resistance levels and really start to take off here in the bigger picture. Now, because we do have a complete LE wave cycle here on the 2-day candlesticks, I do think we will see wave 3 in the immediate wave count. Now, we were counting the bigger picture LE wave count for Ethereum a few minutes ago, where I was showing you Ethereum could go to $20,000 per coin. But here in the immediate LE wave count, we do have a potential 3 wave coming, which is very bullish. Wave 3 is going to be more bullish than wave 1 by nature. It might not be as bullish as wave 5, at least in crypto, but it's extremely bullish nonetheless. So this would look like this for Ethereum. We'd have wave 1, wave 2, and we're really preparing for wave 3 here, which should be extremely bullish and extremely profitable for anybody that's holding throughout this recovery and throughout this wave 3 as the price starts to take off faster and faster and push right up through resistance levels and really starts to go nuts. So both in the shorter time frames and in the big picture, we see a lot of potential for massive profits on Ethereum this cycle. This should make a lot of people very wealthy, and a lot of people that have been holding this coin for a long time are going to be really glad that they've been holding on, sticking to it, and really holding through all of the movement that we've seen over the past few years, and they're going to be very richly rewarded for that kind of patience. So yeah, watch for big things coming in this coin. We do have a massive triangle here on Ethereum as well, so watch for a breakout up through resistance. If we do break above the resistance of this triangle, that's really going to confirm that we are going to see a new all-time high, and we are going to go a lot higher here in the bigger time frames and really start to skyrocket for Ethereum. If you guys weren't here for my last video on Ethereum, it's actually very similar to the early day triangle that we saw in 2017 when Ethereum started to break out, and then it had a big correction and formed a massive triangle pattern before it really started to take off and go to a new all-time high. And we actually see the exact same structure for Ethereum today, the same kind of triangle pattern after a big breakout. And I personally think we could have a very similar breakout here for Ethereum, where we do see a huge parabolic move, just like we saw in 2017. And Ethereum makes a very, very profitable move for anybody that's holding throughout that breakout. So that's my update on Ethereum. I do believe we could hit $10,000 to $20,000 per coin this cycle. I personally think that's extremely likely to at least hit $10,000 per coin, and it's very possible for us to even hit $20,000 per coin this cycle. So be ready for big things with Ethereum. Apply for my one-on-one coaching. Link in the description box below. You guys might be having a hard time learning these markets, getting a correct trading strategy that's consistently profitable. So apply for my one-on-one coaching and I can help you guys get started making money in these markets and have a consistent strategy that makes you money in these markets easily. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos. And as always, stay profitable out there.